What if I told you that with the right plays, you can make her desire you more than any physical touch ever could? According to Machiavelli, true power lies in perception and subtle influence. This video will reveal ruthless yet refined tactics, rooted in psychological mastery, tools to manipulate her senses, emotions, and curiosity so profoundly that she will be begging for more without you ever laying a finger on her. By the end, she will be mentally and emotionally drawn to you, as if you'd cast an invisible spell. This is Machiavellian influence at its peak. That invisible spell I mentioned isn't just a pretty metaphor, brother. It's a reality you can master when you understand that these techniques aren't just simple dating tips, but a form of strategic social currency. Machiavelli teaches us that the perception of strength, confidence, and mystery are the cornerstones of true power. Why is this so crucial? Because your reputation is your most powerful arsenal. If you value these strategies like this video to help elevate this channel and in turn, elevate your own social proof among your friends. Exclusive channel followers get personalized analyses of how to adapt these tactics to specific situations, reinforcing that notion of exclusivity and scarcity that Machiavelli always championed. Those who master these arts gain an advantage over the rest. Now, let's get to the first weapon. 1. Use a sexy cologne as a strategic weapon. Here comes the key Machiavellian principle. Deploy scent as a silent way of marking territory. A well-chosen fragrance can signal wealth, confidence, and refinement without a single word. I recommend specific scent families like woody oriental blends or leather and spice combinations, known for triggering primal attraction. Psychologically, women often associate these notes with strength and virility. But here's the cunning part. Apply the cologne strategically only on pulse points, the neck and inner wrists, creating an aura that lingers and fades unpredictably, just as Machiavelli would advise. Leave her wanting more. A word of caution. An overwhelming fragrance can be perceived as desperation. Subtlety is power. Second tactic, emphasize hygiene as a display of self-mastery. Machiavelli stressed the control of one's own image as key to influence, presenting an impeccable appearance, clean hair, well-kept nails, no noticeable odors, communicates discipline and self-dominion, making you appear more commanding. I suggest a quick ritual before any interaction. Brush your teeth, floss, use mouthwash, and have a mint in plain sight, even if you hide it later, to signal to her subconscious that you value detail and excellence. The Machiavellian touch. When she compliments or asks about your hygiene or scent, respond with playful ambiguity. I just believe in using power like a perfume. This fleeting admission reinforces the mystique. And hey, if you truly want to master this game of subtle influence, subscribe to the channel because what's coming in the next chapters will completely change your understanding of psychological seduction. These first two tactics are just the warm-up for what Machiavelli truly had in mind when he spoke of conquering without a fight. Those scent and presence tactics you just learned are only the foundation. But now comes what is truly lethal. How to use your voice as an instrument of power that penetrates her psyche without her even realizing what's happening. Did you know you can create a private channel directly into her mind using only your voice? This is where the third tactic comes in. 3. Whisper in her ear as a form of covert persuasion. The psychological mechanism is brutal. Whispering activates a private channel effect that makes her feel chosen, as if you're sharing secret knowledge with her, exactly like the Machiavellian notion of forging alliances through confidential counsel. The practical detail that makes all the difference. Lean in slowly from her side, never from the front. This nonverbal tactic leverages the element of surprise and proximity, triggering an instant dopamine rush. I recommend you prepare a library of seductive whispers, lines that combine compliments with calculated intrigue. For example, "I couldn't stop thinking about how your laugh lit up my whole day," or "There's something about the way you look at me. It's dangerously tempting." Crucial control. Breathe through your nose while whispering, both to keep your voice steady and to avoid warm breath that can feel overwhelming. But wait, because here comes a tactic Machiavelli would have adored for its perfect timing. 4. Call her early in the morning to exploit vocal magnetism. Machiavelli valued seizing opportunities at unexpected moments, and dawn is one of them. Her defenses are down, her mind still hazy, and your deep, half-asleep voice will register as something novel and intimate. The ideal timing is just before dawn, between 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. local time. She's more likely to answer out of curiosity, and the intimacy of that early hour signals that she's on your mind before anything else. What to say? Combine genuine curiosity with a touch of seductive power. "How did you sleep?" Followed by something like, "I had a dream about you that I can't quite explain." Use just enough detail to make her chase the rest of the narrative later. The Machiavellian key: absolute brevity. Mystery is built with absence. A 5 to 10 second message is enough. Hang up before she fully processes it, making her replay your voice all morning. These two verbal influence tactics are devastating because they operate on a subconscious level. But what's coming next will take you to another level entirely. How to demonstrate your value as a provider and leader without seeming desperate. Because it's one thing to capture her attention, and quite another to make her see you as the man who can give her everything she needs. That ability to infiltrate her mind with your voice is lethal. But now, we're going to raise the stakes completely. Because it's one thing to capture her mental attention, and quite another to demonstrate that you are the kind of man who can provide, protect, and lead without saying a single word about it. Want to know how Machiavelli would have dominated the game? Here comes the 5th tactic. 5. Cook for her as a demonstration of resources and generosity. This isn't just preparing food, brother. It's a Machiavellian display of utility. By providing a delicious meal, you bind her to you through reciprocity and appreciation. Her subconscious will see you as a protector and provider. The menu selection is crucial. Choose a dish with aphrodisiacs that is also visually stunning, like a risotto infused with saffron and fresh seafood. The theatrical preparation in front of her magnifies the effect. She witnesses your skill and confidence in real time. The strategic setting, an ambiance with dim lighting, subtle instrumental background music, and strategically placed flowers. These elements reinforce your ability to control the environment, elevating your perceived social rank. The Machiavellian touch. Occasionally forget a small ingredient, like a pinch of salt, and make a dramatic show of correcting it. This highlights your attention to detail and creates a moment where she is invested in your process, intensifying the emotional engagement. But the demonstration of resources doesn't end there. The 6th tactic is fundamental. 6. Take care of your body as a demonstration of discipline and status. Here, we invoke the Machiavellian principle that appearance is the foundation of power. A well-sculpted physique signals dominance, self-control, and readiness to protect and provide. Specific fitness strategies, compound exercises like deadlifts, squats, and bench presses to build functional muscle, combined with posture exercises like thoracic rotations and plank variations so you stand tall and project confidence. Grooming details. Keep body hair trimmed or a beard well-groomed. Choose clothing that accentuates your best features like broad shoulders and a narrow waist without being ostentatious. Dress like a leader, not a peacock. The key psychological note: Machiavelli valued consistency. Make your exercise routine visible. Post gym stories or casually mention your morning workouts. When she perceives your dedication, her attraction deepens. These value demonstration tactics are devastating because they operate on primitive levels of attraction. But what comes now in the final chapter is the heavy artillery: how to use sensory pleasures and strategic communication to create a psychological addiction to your presence. We've built the foundation. Now we go for total domination of her senses and emotions. That provider and leader foundation you've just built is devastating, but now comes the heavy artillery that separates amateurs from Machiavellian masters. We are talking about total domination of her pleasure centers and her psyche through techniques that will create a literal addiction to your presence. Ready to play in the major leagues? The seventh tactic is pure applied science. 7. Offer chocolates and wine to activate her pleasure centers. Machiavelli recognized the importance of leveraging sensory pleasures to secure loyalty. Chocolate and wine aren't just little gifts. They are calculated mood modifiers. Chocolate selection: choose dark chocolate, 70 to 85%. Less sugar, but a more intense flavor. Combine it with fruits or nuts she likes. Present it in a small leather pouch or velvet-lined box to intensify the feeling of luxury. Wine strategy: learn her favorite varietal beforehand. A smooth Pinot Noir or a bold Cabernet Sauvignon. Offer a single glass instead of a full bottle. Controlling the pace allows her to savor it and subconsciously associate that pleasure with you. The devastating Machiavellian touch: casually comment on the wine's origin story. This vineyard was a secret passion project of a duke from Florence. This appeals to her intellect and curiosity, reinforcing your image as cultured and worldly. But here comes the most lethal technique of all, the 8th tactic. 8. Send suggestive messages as psychological provocations. Machiavelli advised on shaping narratives. Words can be more powerful than actions. Craft messages that combine genuine compliments with subtle power plays. I can't get the thought of you out of my head, and I'm not sure it's a coincidence. Cadence and timing: send messages when she least expects them, during the late afternoon lull or late at night, so your words become an unexpected delight that interrupts her routine. Here is the Machiavellian texting formula that never fails. Observation: you looked incredible in that jacket the other night. Unfulfilled desire: it made me realize how much I want to see you again. Implicit reward: I think I know just the place where you could wear it next time. Call to action: let me know when you have some free time. The power of the unfinished thought, the ellipsis and line breaks. Don't reveal everything at once. Leave her hanging on that final line. These 8 strategies form a cohesive system of subtle dominance and magnetic attraction. Cologne, hygiene, whispers, morning calls, cooking, physique, sensory pleasures, and strategic texts. Each tactic feeds into a larger game of subtle mastery and irresistible magnetism. Integration is key. Don't use these techniques separately as isolated tricks. Combine them in calculated sequences that build a total experience, leaving her completely captivated by your presence without understanding exactly why. That is pure Machiavellian power, total control through invisible influence. Those 8 strategies you've just mastered form the complete manual of subtle influence. But here comes the final Machiavellian reflection that changes everything. In life and in love, it is not the fist that wins the fight, but the mind that orchestrates it. By controlling perception, manipulating emotions, and leaving a touch of mystery, you gain power over her desire without ever making physical contact. Apply these techniques consistently, adapt them to her personality, and watch as she is drawn to you as if by invisible strings. If you want to continue mastering this art, and access more Machiavellian secrets of seduction, subscribe and like.